Hello and welcome everyone to the first ever AfroBabbler podcast. This podcast kind of came about after a failed recording for Shadow the Hedgehog Last Story. When halfway through the credits, we kind of realized ArcSoft was kind of not recording. Or at least stopped recording. But by that time, we were kind of in like a really good conversation over like the Shadow the Hedgehog story and like the backstory. Then it kind of evolved into discussion about the whole Sonic series entirely. And the conversation lasted for kind of 4 hours. But there was a lot of nice conversation in there, a lot of nice dialogue in there about, good characters, bad characters, good games, bad games, character development, plot holes, continuities, storytelling, and, the things we like and dislike about a few games. Or how we think we can better them in some way. So basically, it's gonna be me and MrBaDragnite, who was actually in the Shadow the Hedgehog playthrough, talking about that stuff. So if you want to hear two nerds rant and rave about the Sonic series, then this is the place for you. Each episode is going to be like an hour long, though, so if you got time to kill, well, hope you have something else to occupy yourself. But yeah, it's like my first time, I guess, doing something like this. If this is enjoyable for some people, and you probably want more of it, then tell me in the comments, I guess. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. I'm just going to plop you down to where the conversation seemed a bit relevant, right when MrBaDragnite was talking about what he liked about Shadow the Hedgehog game. So, yeah, see you guys later. Bye.
Overall, I did really like Shadow's backstory. I don't care what people say about the whole alien thing.
I still think the alien thing's kind of weird.
It's weird, but I like it. I mean, it's different. It's not like...
No, but it's different in, like, a really dark way, is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, everything about the alien is just, like, meant to be dark and edgy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, it's better than the fucking aliens from Sonic Lost Worlds.
Colors?
No, Lost Worlds.
Colors.
I'm not thinking...
Zeddy?
I'm talking about the Zeddy.
Zeddy.
The Zeddy.
Yeah, what about them?
They're fucking stupid.
I know they're stupid.
They lose their powers to a magic conch from SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh no, the conch has spoken. We can't destroy the fat man. Oh, hey, look, the blue thing kicked it. Let's kill everyone.
So overall, what do you think of Shadow the Hedgehog?
Besides its obvious flaws, being the fact that it's still using the hero engine.
Yeah.
So it's still slippery as fuck.
Yep. And the camera's weird.
And the
controls are iffy at times.
At times. Really, when they're iffy, it's because of the camera.
Well, not even that. This is how Shadow, moves, like you said, slippery, and how he jumps and homing attacks. It's not exactly accurate.
Yeah. I really hate it when you land on a ledge, and the game just decides, yeah, you know what, you can't stand there properly, and you slide off and die. That's just horrible. It's like, why couldn't he grab it? This dude is known for... throwing energy spears and punching robots in the face, but he can't grab a damn ledge. And hell, he's got jet boots that he's obviously shown from time to time. If he's turned up the jet, he can actually float.
Ah.
Float in midair, not just off the ground like he always does.
Yeah.
Hell, he does it in the stupid racing game they made. The one where his shoes are just bigger and he's not actually on a board.
Oh.
That was funny.
Riders?
That was funny.
He was wearing actual skates, though.
They're just bigger versions of his shoes, right? In one of them.
What? In Riders 1?
I think it was Riders 1.
In Riders 1, he didn't have a board. He had skates.
Yeah, he just had they're just giant versions of his shoes, though, weren't they?
No, they were actual, different colored skates.
I could have sworn there was one where he just had oversized shoes.
Everyone in Riders has oversized shoes.
That's a good point. Riders was a bad game.
So what did you like about the Shadow, then?
What I like about it? Well, I did like the fact that they tried to take Shadow in a different direction than most of the other characters. They're like, yeah, friendship, let's save the world! Shadow's like, I could literally give less than a fuck. The only reason I'm doing this is because there's some sort of personal connection this time.
Yeah.
And the other times he saved the world, besides SA2, which was once again another personal connection.
Yeah.
Heroes, he was just kind of dragged into it by Rouge.
Because she was also trying to figure out, it was hinted in Heroes about trying to figure out who he was. Well, it was just a little side story in that game.
Technically, it was like a prelude to this.
It was a prelude to this?
It's like Sega was hinting at their next game.
Well, This game was a reaction to people saying Heroes was could have been more mature.
Oh my god.
And this was kind of more like an overboard version. Because SC2, everyone loved SC2. People complained, I want more classic. That's where Heroes came from. But then people said, I want more mature. So, we have a mature character, Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's make a whole game thinking of all the mature things, like guns, we have cars, a whole alien race based off like red and black colors, wanting to take over the human race using its food and stuff like that.
It was still a pretty sick idea.
Yeah.
Even though it was weird.
It's still weird.
It's still weird in a way, but I still liked it. It's not the worst thing they could have done. They could have made Shadow's background story full of rainbows and unicorns. If they really wanted to.
They could have, but
they could have been
honestly,
like...
I'm not gonna lie. Something like that wouldn't fit. Something along these lines does fit Shadow.
Yeah, like, if they wanted to, they could have just completely trolled everyone and be like, oh, Gerald Robotnik found a planet full of Chow. And he used their leader's blood to stabilize Shadow.
Yeah.
That would have been... I could have seen that because it's a Sonic game, but it still would have been terrible.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think this game's kind of decent.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of... Like, a lot of people complained about the guns. Granted...
The guns are weird. The guns take priority over the main attack, the homing attack. And I don't really like that much.
The homing attack is still functional, but that's only
because... It's not as functional as guns.
Yeah, but in general, homing attack wasn't that functional in Heroes either.
It was more functional in
No. You used Thundershoot more than you used homing attack.
I used Thundershoot because it killed things a lot faster than homing attack.
Yeah, see, homing attack wasn't very viable in the GameCube games to begin with.
I'm not saying it's not strong. I'm saying it worked better there. I'm saying here, the homing attack takes a step down for the guns and everything else. All that firearms. Because that was the main focus of the game. Using firearms. Using vehicles. The homing attack...
Well, the vehicles were kind of like a side thing, really. The only times vehicles were mandatory when you had to go over toxic animals.
You know what I mean, though. But the spin dash, more classic movements, the spin dash and the homing attack were kind of...
Well, the spin dash was there. You had the option to use it. It's not bad.
In this game, it was really bad.
No.
It didn't take you anywhere. Spin dash's main purpose was to take you, like, really fast, like... Yeah, it'll make you go really fast. In this game, you went fast and really slow, really fast.
Yeah, I just preferred using the slide kick, really, though, when I needed to. Because the slide kick got you there and faster.
Yeah, because it carried on your momentum, is the thing.
Yeah.
The spin dash, you stopped and had to build up, but there's no way to increase your speed.
But in 3D Sonic games, I never really found myself using spin dash anyway. I would just use a homing attack to speed up.
Yeah,
because it just boosts and you go down. And you're almost at max acceleration.
The 3D Sonic games that use spin dash, besides Lost World, don't really make you go fast at all.
They kind of
Tell lie. I'm speaking to my ass right now.
You are speaking out of your ass.
SA1 did. SA2 did. Sonic Heroes. It didn't really do anything that much because it was just a fancy attack. And it didn't really speed you up that much. You could go faster by just running. Shadow, spin dash was kind of dumb. It didn't really go anywhere.
It was useful for certain parts. There were a few places.
It was only useful when you hit a ledge and you didn't want to go run back and get speed.
Yeah, you just...
It was only just used for going under ledges.
Yeah.
Not ledges, crevices.
Because then you'd boost out and actually, it was really functional in that sense because then you'd spin dash onto the ledge... You'd fly over and then you boost in the air and you come down running really fast.
What? Oh, yeah.
So it was still functional in a sense.
It was functional, but not like it was originally designed for.
Technically, I kind of like that because the original design was for a 2D game.
Yeah.
And a 2D game, that's functional. In a 3D game, if you move that fast, you're going to flip the fuck out and you're probably going to fall off the edge and die. Yeah,
but it still increases your speed, though. I know what you're talking about. Spin dash, go off a ramp, homing attack, get speed that way. But there are a lot of situations, there's only rare situation where you go off of a good ramp, so you can do that.
Yeah, but...
Lethal Highway.
Like I said, you don't need the spin dash other than that. You don't really need it.
I know.
Even if they did make it the way you wanted it, it wouldn't have mattered because you probably would have just used the homing attack anyway because it was the safer option.
Even Sonic games thought that because... In 3D Sonic games, spin dash doesn't really make you go fast. That's where you play spin dash with boost in a way.
Yeah, boost is like the homing attack. It's a safe option.
Yeah. But then they started leaning away towards boost and went back to the homing attack like in Lost World. Well, that's basically your boost button, but still a spin dash.
Yeah. Lost World still had terrible aliens.
Yeah.
These aliens are better.
I sorry if I prefer more kiddie things in the Sonic universe. I still think it's like way too dark, like way overboard, like the edginess that they were going for.
Yeah, except in the American version, they toned it down and nobody died.
Well, it's American. It's like they're still using like 4Kid stuff. That logic. Because the 4Kid
4Kids ruins everything.
It does. I didn't say we didn't like go over the thoughts what we liked about the game that much, did we? We talked about spinning.
We kind of did, and then you like veered off the edge because of the spin dash. You're like, oh my god, the spin dash was terrible. Brr. But yeah, I like the machine guns. In general, those are like the best weapons in the game.
Machine guns,
they're good, and I like the little bonus
fair,
they give you.
I don't like using any weapons Shadow the Hedgehog.
And personally, I'm kind of glad they didn't make it more realistic by making you have to reload, because then that'd just be obnoxious.
That'd be annoying.
That'd just be obnoxious. At that point, I'd just be saying, can we please just only grab alien guns? Because then at least you could give the excuse that they don't have to reload.
It's reaching silly levels of realism at that point.
Yeah. And then it was funny, like, I didn't even notice that until... It's probably one of the videos where I'm like, oh, I didn't know you went invincible during this time.
Oh,
when you went into hero or evil mode.
Yeah, like
I thought it was cool. I thought that was cool because like once I found that out, I'd always get evil mode and I just start shooting everything down.
Yep.
Because for destroying shit, you increase its length duration. So it's just like, why even use Chaos Blast? I'd use it during boss fights. I'd use it during other things, but there was just no point to using it in a main level unless you had to destroy 5 enemies in a row and you just couldn't be bothered.
True. Because
you just take your machine gun, which now has infinite ammo.
Yep.
That shoots extremely fast. And you just point it at everything. And it's just like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. And I understand that you got minus points for being evil during the good mission. You minus points for being good during the evil mission.
Yeah.
But this game does one bad thing that really annoys me. Is that even when you're doing the evil mission, they still put aliens in your way that you have to defeat.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're like, was it not Skytress, the one before Glyphic Canyon?
Yeah.
Well, they basically Black Doom says, "Hey, touch these things so we can get so we can get our armada ready."
Oh, by the way, I won't open the door for you right behind you. You have to kill my aliens for that.
I know, I don't understand that.
And then when you kill him, he's like,
"Don't kill them, man!
Yeah.
Like, open the door for me." I wouldn't have to do this.
Because it would have made sense that if you touched the glyph, the door would open by itself.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So it's just like certain little things like that were a little annoying.
Yeah.
It wasn't overall that drastic of a difference, but still.
Just the lack of common sense in those situations are kind of iffy.
Yeah, and like in the hero, and like when you're doing the hero mode too, it's like all the gun soldiers are just like, "Alright, it's Shadow," because of their one boss.
Yeah.
Shoot him down. It's like, but Shadow's killing everyone for us. Shoot him down.
It's like, oh, okay, bye.
I guess I forfeit my life today. Pew! Who did that, motherfucker? Because as all Sonic characters are, they're immune to bullets as long as they have a ring. Because magic. I don't know how that works.
The levels, though.
The levels?
The levels are forgettable.
Well, not all forgettable.
The
Arc levels are amazing.
Only like a few areas are memorable.
No, I liked all the Arc levels except when you do evil missions on them because they tend to be more obnoxious.
Yeah, no. What I'm talking about levels is level design, like how they actually are. Level design, the levels are kind of I shouldn't say forgettable, like blend together.
Except for fucking Eggman's levels.
Except for Eggman. Well,
Eggman's levels do not blend together. But then again, they did cheat a little. Because they took the castle from Sonic Heroes, and they basically used the art assets for one of their levels.
Altered art assets.
They're basically the same.
Basically, yeah, but yeah. No.
Except they added the balloons.
No, they're not the same art assets.
They're almost the same art assets.
No, not.
Yeah, they are.
They're almost the same.
Because they're
basically the same concept.
The castle is exactly the same.
Which castle?
What do you mean, which castle?
Which
There's
castle?
one castle.
Are we talking about the castle level entirely?
No, not entirely, no. It's technically a different layout.
What
it's
parts?
just, no. The castle in general looks exactly the same as the one from Heroes. Cryptic Castle looks like that spooky castle from Heroes. I think it was actually called Spooky Castle.
What was it called? Spooky Castle.
What was it called?
Mystic.
Mystic Mansion.
No, that was the inside.
No. It was?
Yeah,
You never really go on the inside of this one, really. Well, then again, it is corrupted by aliens at this point.
There's no inside.
There's some inside.
They're like it's like the one you go inside, be chased by a giant spider. Why would I want to go inside that?
I don't know.
That's how I think. I still think the levels are kind of certain levels blend in together.
All the city levels do.
All the city levels, yeah.
There's a lot of city.
It doesn't
levels.
help that you play what. The thing about this game is,
you know what threw me off though?
What?
Prison Island. That threw me way off.
Yeah, well,
because you go back and you remember the SA2 one.
Yeah, it got blown to pieces.
Yeah, but like, what the hell's up with the chemical water slides? That was
I don't know.
Nowhere. There was.
But again, that's going with
nowhere.
dark and edgy thing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but like
corrupted landscapes, stuff like that.
Corrupted landscape, like Prison Island didn't look anything like that in SA2.
Well, it's dead now. They had to rebuild it.
Why would they rebuild it? Eggman blew it up in SA2.
Okay, sure. An island completely made for prisoners. Blow it up. Fuck it. Give up. I don't care.
They didn't even really use it. They only used it for 2 people in that game.
No, it's only 2. Use it for 2 shown people.
Yeah,
it's still a high security prison.
You break into it as Rouge, and you go through all their prison cells looking for Chaos Emeralds, and there's no one else there.
There's no prison cells, there's safes.
Not just safes, but you go by the prison cells. There's no one there.
It's a high security prison. I don't know.
There's no one there. They only use it for hedgehogs, apparently.
And Gerald.
Who
got executed.
Yeah, that's a good point. But he was in the same prison cell that they used for Sonic.
That's kind of funny.
In fact, I'm starting to think that's the only prison cell they have.
A whole island just for that one prison.
Yeah, and then you, like, at least that's the only one they had in that game, because then you come back to this one, and all of a sudden there's an absolute shit ton of them.
Wow.
Like, you explored that island on SA2, invading it and escaping it. Why would there be no mention of those in that game? But in this game, all of a sudden, like, the entire place is redesigned.
Because they had to rebuild it.
Why would they rebuild it, though? In the game, they specifically said it's an abandoned government facility.
I don't know.
What government goes back and goes, you know what, fuck it, we're going to rebuild this abandoned place and abandon it again?
I don't fucking know. They did with the Ark.
They didn't do that with the Ark.
Yeah, it's an abandoned place. They could easily use that thing.
Well, they could.
Easily. For so many things.
I mean, hell, it's got a giant death cannon.
It's got a giant death cannon!
Still.
Why would the government not want that?
I don't know why they haven't disassembled that.
Or used it.
I mean, like, Eggman took it and blew up half the moon, and then nobody talks about that.
I know! But the moon is still blown up! No one talks about the Ark? No one cares about the Ark anymore? They blew up the fucking moon!
Like, they're just...
They shot the White House!
They're just waiting for people to, like, some terrorist organization to fly up there and hijack it.
It's like...
They're just waiting for that day.
It's like, this is the reason. This is why you have to storm it again. That's all they want. They just want to storm it again. They don't care about it. They just want to make sure no one else gets it. They don't want to use it. They don't care about it. They just don't want anyone else to use it.
I don't understand. At that point, they might as well just, like I said earlier in another video you probably already saw, they should just fucking crash the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's not going to help them. Hell, Gerald Robotnik was going to crash it into a landmass, but they can just crash it in the middle of the ocean, and whoa, a few fishes died.
They definitely need to go up there, though, and, get rid of all the dangerous stuff, though.
Yeah, and, come on, there's still a complete database up there. What the fuck, guys?
I don't understand why they don't use that. It's like a complete database. It's
of Gerald Robotnik's work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any, seriously. The writers of Sonic the Hedgehog have such an issue. They have
a cure for diseases up there.
Shadow is the cure of the diseases.
But they still have data on him.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They can still use that for something.
Something. Oh, they could use it for actually extracting some of Shadow's blood and using it properly.
Yes, and yeah, they could even do that.
Because
Shadow wouldn't be above that.
Yeah, because that was Shadow's
original. He does that.
Yeah, that was Shadow's original purpose. Was to cure Maria's uncurable illness.
I know.
Because in order to cure something, you need to make a fucking god. That's what you need to do. You create the ultimate life form.
What are we going to do with this ultimate life form? I'm going to cure my niece. What else?
I don't know. It's got unlimited battle potential. Do you guys want him? Oh my god, he's got unlimited battle potential.
You can, shoot chaos energy out of a spear and control time. You want him? Sure. I'll take him if you don't want him.
Take him out.
Gotta make sure he doesn't want it back. Kill the daughter.
Oh my god. Kill everyone on board, except for the strange boy with 2 different eye colors.
I don't... What? How?
How the fuck did he get out?
How the fuck did he get out and join the military?
He
knew what happened on there. He knew how everyone died. Why would you join an organization that basically killed what you considered family?
And then he, became so part of that organization, he did the exact same thing they did earlier.
I know!
Shoot first, ask questions later.
That's so bad.
So, yeah. Once again, there's only one issue with Sonic Riders, is that they always seem to fuck up something. I mean, the overall Shadow's backstory is good, but, everything else, all the, details inside of it are retarded.
Well, not really there for details and such.
When the hell have they ever been about details? I mean, come on. Sonic Generations is supposed to be the 1-year anniversary of Sonic.
20 year.
Fucking
missed it by 19 years.
No, but I mean, his birthday.
Yeah.
1 year. He got 1 year older in 20 years.
Yeah. And? What's the other thing?
How the hell did Eggman do all this shit in that time?
Don't worry about it.
He's awoken multiple gods, failed to control them, created one himself, a fucking robot god.
Robot god who basically siphoned off another god. Was that what you're referring to?
Technically.
Meta Overlord?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He siphoned off Chaos, right?
Yeah.
Which was a water god that he failed to control. And then he tried to control Iblis, which, once again, that never happened. So I shouldn't even go over that. But he did try to control...
Technically, he didn't do anything with Iblis, really.
He tried.
He barely did anything with Iblis.
Supposedly the story goes, he made Maria cry, Iblis erupted, and he couldn't do shit because it's fucking Iblis.
What, in, the...
In the original story.
The original time, yeah.
Yeah, the original timeline, he actually does succeed in getting Iblis out. The only problem
In what timeline he dies? With Elise.
Yeah, he dies doing that. So.
No.
Doesn't he die?
Don't you remember the one part where Eggman's ship crashes?
Oh yeah, that's the timeline that it happens.
Is that the timeline it happens?
That's the true timeline. He crashes because he crashes in.
His ship's messing up.
Yeah, and even if he survived it, he would have died because of Iblis.
So why the fuck didn't Iblis just be released right there? That would have been perfect if he showed that.
No, because the timeline was altered because of Mephiles' intrusions.
Oh yeah, Mephiles is stupid in that game, I realized. I came to realize.
Why?
He made everything so overly complicated for no reason.
Kind of yes and no.
Not kind of yes and no.
Because he wanted Iblis to come out weakened and not at full strength. And I guess for some reason if Maria dies, he comes out at full strength. And if he's released by crying, he comes out weakened.
How does that even make sense?
I don't know. They just kind of wipe that one out of their ass.
Where's that weakened bit come from, though?
No, because if you noticed, the background story of Iblis erupting was when Elise died, and Iblis just kind of erupted forward, kind of like a sorrowful event just happened, so it fueled his energy. That's where I'm getting. But in this case, Elise cried because a loved one was lost. So instead of her dying, he just kind of leaked out. Instead of coming out in one big explosion.
I don't think it works like that.
I think it does.
I don't think it does work that.
What
doesn't make sense?
It makes more sense than what they were going for.
Iblis is a mindless beast!
Yeah.
How does that even work? If he died, it shouldn't even be released in that sense.
If she died.
This
isn't fucking...
If she died, then Iblis shouldn't even be released.
Or maybe they're going for the Naruto stance. If they die, the tailed beast isn't released yet. The beast
eventually
dies and is reborn.
I can understand that.
So if that's what technically happened, then Iblis would have technically died, but at the same time he would just reemerge somewhere else randomly, and Mephiles couldn't control that.
What do you mean? He would reemerge at the place where he died.
Well, because if that was the case, then why did Mephiles need to make Maria cry to release him?
That's what I'm talking about. There's no reason for that.
Because that's why I'm saying. If she died, he probably got released somewhere else, not on the same spot.
That doesn't make sense.
None of it made sense. The whole game never made sense.
This whole conversation is trying to make sense, Michael. Don't you pull that? It doesn't make sense. We're trying to make sense of it.
People crossed their arms and said chaos control and made time holes.
I don't even understand that.
I mean, come on.
I don't think the crossing arm thing is even necessary.
It's just like...
It's just two Chaos Emeralds that does it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Wait,
that doesn't make any sense, because in super form, what do they do? Just control all space and time? They can go at any point in time and space they want to? But they never fucking have? When they could have easily just, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go to the beginning of this fight, right before the guy explodes with power, and just squash him!
Because Sonic's stupid.
What about Shadow? He should know this. Or Silver, for God's sake.
Silver's stupid!
Silver's not as stupid as Sonic. He's smarter than Sonic.
Silver acts like a kid, though. He's impatient and naive. He doesn't know any better. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at that point.
If anything, that would make it even more reason. Sonic just doesn't give a fuck in the world. Silver's just like, I want to end this quickly.
Sonic's the whole thing about, I want a challenge.
Yeah, so...
It's that kind of thing. Shadow's the same way.
Kind of, because, he is. Yeah, he wants to challenge because
he's more arrogant than Sonic.
Yeah, because he's the ultimate life form. Yeah. Who's gonna fuck with him?
Yeah, so he always, like, boasts that title, like, okay, you want a challenge? Just fucking go.
I'm the ultimate life form, bitch. Bring it on.
That's all he does. So, in a way, it's, like, more cocky and arrogant than Sonic could ever be.
Well, then why the fuck hasn't Silver done that? He's known for time travel. Why the fuck doesn't he just do that with every boss fight he comes across? Oh, you emerged here? When? At that point? Okay.
Because...
Whoop! Squash!
If we're going off... I can't even argue this, honestly. I have no idea how the fuck he time travels. He does it in Rivals. He does it in Rivals 2. He does it in Colors. I don't even know how he does it. He just does.
At this point, I just kind of wish they just rewrite his story and just say, you know what, fuck it. He Shadow's kid from, like, I don't know, 10 years in the future? And Shadow just sends him back whenever the fuck he needs.
What the fuck
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, like 20 years. 30 years, who cares? Like, a more moderate time frame, because Shadow lives forever, and Shadow could easily, if with Shadow's help, he could send Silver back at times when he needs him.
So how the fuck did he survive? So how's he in 2,000 years in the future?
Shadow?
Silver.
Oh, Silver.
Silver's 2,000 years in the future. You forgot that, didn't you?
I totally forgot that.
Yeah, he's not... That's like way long ago after Sonic's timeline.
Shadow's still there.
Yeah, Shadow's immortal, but he was captured by Omega. Remember that?
That's only in that timeline.
That's a timeline we're talking about.
Yeah, but that timeline got erased. I'm saying I'm talking about like when he keeps coming back.
Well, to be fair, what Silver?
Yeah. I'm talking. We're talking about like why, like how he keeps coming back.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to say, well, maybe Shadow sent him there. Because
why the fuck would Shadow?
I don't know.
Why the fuck would Shadow send Silver back into the past to a fucking amusement park? Please, Michael, if you have a question, if you have an answer for this, please, I would love to hear your hypothesis. I would love to know this.
Maybe there's no amusement parks in the future. Everyone's fucking boring.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Sonny, are you bored? Let's go to Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park 2,000 years in the past.
Eggman Nega never made anything this cool.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean.
There's no reason at all.
Or maybe Silver just maybe Shadow says Chaos Control in his sleep, and Silver just put an emerald there and said, hey, I'm gonna take a joyride. And then Shadow shows up in the past again. He's like, what the fuck did you do? You sleep talk?
I think Shadow sleeps. Shadow doesn't need to sleep.
Well, every time we see him, he's fucking asleep.
When the fuck do we see him?
Like, whenever they reintroduce him, he's in a state of hibernation.
That's kind of different than casual sleeping.
It's still sleeping.
That's way different than casual.
It still shows that he's capable of sleep.
I know he's capable of sleep. I mean, he doesn't need to casually sleep like regular humans do.
He's a hedgehog.
You know what the fuck I mean. He's anthropomorphic. Piss off.
Like every other fucking animal in this game, except for the tiniest ones.
A flicky. But even then.
Apparently they're filled with chaos energy.
What?
Or something. Because they're used to power Eggman's robots. What the fuck?
They're just life energy. It's not chaos energy. It's siphoning off their life.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's
even worse.
What do you think that filled with chaos energy? Are you serious?
Well, it's because you feed them the chaos... Or wait. What was it?
Are you thinking of Chows?
I'm thinking of Chows.
He doesn't use Chows. He uses
No, I'm thinking of like when you throw flickies at chows in the SA2.
That's like copying abilities.
They don't actually like eat them or anything?
No, they don't eat them.
I thought they did.
No.
That would have been cool.
No. What the fuck? They don't eat them. They just basically copy what the abilities by touch. It's like what's his name? What's your name?
He absorbs them like goo.
Oh god. That'd be horrifying.
That's
Hey, Mr. Chow, how you doing with Mr. Pig? You turn around, just pig in the mouth.
You just see the pig start slowly shrinking in his body.
It's like, oh god, Mr. Chow, no.
And then like pig skin comes out of his like it starts emerging from his body and covers him.
Oh.
Whoop, I'm mimicking him. Whee!
Oh, Mr. Chow, no.
It's even better when a Chaos Chow does it, because then you get to see it all happen.
Dear Lord. That's horrible. Is that how chaos happened?
It's all chaos. No.
Oh.
There was a water being like that once. No.
Genius wordplay of chaos, though. Get Chow at an S.
Yeah! Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, in general, like, we should go back to, like, the story writers for Sega.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because we might as well. This could be, like, an extra commentary thing at this point.
I'm making a podcast.
It's a podcast. In general, Sega has had huge issues with story writing.
Yeah.
Absolute huge.
It's like after a certain point, after Shadow. No, actually, wait. Oh, no. I shouldn't say about connectivity, because it's like a very thin line.
Are you kidding me? They, like, change the fucking world every other game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's weird. The only way, like, we actually see...
We saw
the actual Earth in Unleashed. We saw a map of what is basically our Earth in Shadow the Hedgehog in this game. On, I should say this game, we're doing a podcast. Shadow the Hedgehog in the gun main hub area. Main station, whatever.
It looked like Earth, but in Unleashed, it was completely different.
Yeah, it was completely different.
The people may have looked like they're from our Earth, but they look nothing like the people from before.
Yeah. After a certain point, like, after 06, and Sega decided to, like, switch up their whole design, they wanted to make it so it's like Earth, but it's not Earth. It's like the argument about saying, Sonic's not on Earth. He's on Mobius. You know Mobius, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean...
It's really weird about that, because whenever Earth or Mobius or whatever the planet's referenced, specifically by Eggman, it's never called Earth or Mobius or whatever. It's called Sonic's World. Eggman always says Sonic's World. Never, like, an actual name.
That is weird.
It's like, he says it in colors. That's what I remember the most. He says Sonic's World.
Whoa.
So, I don't know how to take that one.
I mean... It's just like, Eggman, you're from that world. Why are you calling it his world?
I don't understand that.
It's like Sega just didn't Sega just didn't want to commit themselves to a name.
It was really weird.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's how it is, because I forget which side what it was. Was it Western? I think it's...
Because I think the only time they've ever called it Earth was in Unleashed, right? Because they said the Earth has been split apart.
No, planet.
The planet? Oh, they did say the planet.
It's just planet.
It's just planet.
There's one game where it says Earth. Crap, what was it?
It must have been one of the older ones.
No, because I know it's for a fact, the Western Japanese side, they, like, do, like, almost separate things.
Yeah.
I can't remember which side it was. It was probably Western. I feel like it's Western. That called the planet Mobius to make it more original, and Japan said Earth.
Ah.
Because they like messing with Earth or whatever. I don't know.
Well, Japan's never really had much issues with, like, calling things the way they are.
Yeah, and even if they're altered or not.
Like, in the American version of Shadow the Hedgehog, the people don't die. In the Japanese version, they fucking die.
Because they don't, because Japanese don't really have problems that much with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean...
Like cursing and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's... you gotta admire that. I mean, when you have to, like, censor shit to that degree in America, something's wrong. In a subtle way, something is wrong.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, can't subject kids to this game or this kind of thing.
Yeah, and then there's other game producers who knowingly release games like Grand Theft Auto and know full well that it's a game that's going to be played by everybody, no matter what the stupid rating system is.
Everyone knows that by now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten to a point. It's gotten to a point where rating system doesn't exactly matter that much.
It's just
at a certain age.
Stops you from buying it in the store legally.
Yeah.
And that's when your dad just goes in and goes, "Here you go."
Have fun killing grandmas, kid.
Yeah. Or your older brother if your dad's a stuck-up. I mean, seriously, at this point, I don't, like, even at the point of this game, because Grand Theft Auto had already been out for a while.
Yeah.
At the point of this game, I don't really see the point in that. It's just, like, making themselves feel better.
Because it's
that they did that for Shadow the Hedgehog.
It's still a Sonic game, and Sonic game has always been made for kids.
But if anything, it makes it seem a little darker, because they're like, "Spare me! Help me! Yeah!"
But that's the thing.
Because you just shot him. You shot the man, and you left him there.
Yeah, I know. But a kid doesn't see it like that. A kid knows, shoot the guy, he's down. If I hear his voice, well then, I know he's alive. The kid doesn't think about, oh, he's writhing in pain because you shot him in the heart, he's missing his family. No. You're thinking of, oh, I just killed the guy, he's still alive. Well, I'm not mentally scarred.
Not mentally scarred? They play Call of Duty.
No, they play multiplayer. The thing is...
In that sense, you're shooting down your friends. Hey guys, let's play Call of Duty. Okay, I headshotted you, bitch. Take it.
But at a certain point, they become desensitized with Call of Duty. They don't see it as like, oh, mindless violence. They see it like a game.
But this is a game.
No, because...
Shadow the Hedgehog is a game.
I know that. But they don't see it as like a bloody game, like, oh no, people are dying. It's just a regular...
So it's fine to explode the poor aliens, but it's not
It's really weird, because explosions are fine.
Yeah, exploding aliens is perfectly A-okay, kids.
There's a guy over there. Shoot him. Can't do that. Explode him. Have at it.
I know.
I never understood that. Explosions, like, if you think about it, exploding a person is like way worse.
It is.
Every way.
But in the game, they just do it so it's like, oh... Only his shoes survived, or something like that, and it's perfectly fine.
The thing is, the explosion, you can't see him. You explode, gone. You shoot him, there's still a body and possible blood, and you know what's happened to the person. You've been shot. After explosion...
Wait, quick thing.
What?
You know what I find that weird? In Shadow the Hedgehog, they're perfectly fine with leaving the people alive, but they're perfectly also okay with showing Maria's death scene over and over and over and over.
Because that's...
And you know she dies.
Yeah.
There's no hiding that.
The whole game is based off she dies.
Yeah, so it's like, why? If this whole thing's based on his dark past, and every single playthrough okay, not every single playthrough, but like the majority of the playthroughs you do, you're going to be reminded of the fact that she died that way, in cold blood, with a single pistol shot.
And the guy walked off.
Yeah. The
guy basically walked off to leave it to die.
Yeah.
Every single time Marie is shown, after the shot, like, being shot scene, she's, like, pushing the button, or in some way saying goodbye to Shadow.
And the guy's not there. He could literally...
Well, the guy's there, just riveling in the fact, like, oh, this is a good show. Better get the popcorn and the boys.
Yeah, I mean... They're perfectly fine with that, and that's, like, worse than just... actually killing the guy with a normal shot.
Because the thing is, though, it's important to Shadow, so the Maria death has to stay there. But since we don't see any blood, we only hear a gunshot, we don't see any physical damage on her, and she just falls, it's not...
But that's probably just, in a sense, if you think of it this way, it's probably Shadow's version of the past.
You don't see the blood or... You only hear a gunshot.
You only hear the gunshot, and that's because even if he did see it, he probably mentally blocked it.
Yeah, I could see
because that was his cherished loved one. I mean, like, if you saw... Like, let's say you saw your family just gunned down in front of you, the first thing you're not going to remember is the blood.
Or possibly the gunman.
Or, yeah, you'll probably remember the gunman first, or their faces.
Yeah, but
like you see Maria's face.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, that's another thing. He sees the gunman, he hears the shot, he sees her face.
Yeah.
That's like the standard kind of way people remember traumas.
Yeah.
So in a sense, that works. In fact, it's one of the few things Sega ever gets right. Go figure.
Because they really have to, like, since Shadow had a story, they have to work on the story.
Yeah, unlike the other characters.
Think about it. All the other characters actually have backstories except for Sonic. I read that, and I actually realized that's somewhat true.
Yeah, Sonic doesn't have a backstory.
Knuckles has a backstory that was
Knuckles
explored.
barely have a backstory.
He has a history. His race has a history.
His race has a history. Yeah.
And
but he himself, we don't know where Knuckles came from. We know his tribe.
We know his tribe.
We don't know
what happened to his tribe.
Yeah, but we don't know why he's still around. We don't know if he was even... we do know he probably wasn't of that time, which means somebody else had to survive
I don't understand how the hell...
Which means Knuckles' parents had to have survived that catastrophe. But they never explained that. So we don't know if Knuckles ever knew his parents, or if he's just a lot older than we think he is.
He's considered 16. He's 16 years old.
Then his grandparents survived the fucking catastrophe.
That's the thing. The whole disaster happened like thousands of years ago.
Yeah, so we don't know.
So there has to be a whole generation.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least like
people had to survive.
Yeah, or at least have a dwindling generation. Like every year, more dying.
Unless there was a ton of incest.
I don't know. And then Knuckles somehow end up as the last one.
Yeah.
And since all the stories he's been told about the Master Emerald and like the Guardians and the temples and stuff like that, it's just kind of... He felt like he had to take on the responsibility of being the Guardian of the Master Emerald.
And then he said, fuck that shit later on.
That's kind of bad.
Yeah, because
after a certain point, all the backstory, all like the deep history of like the Sonic universe, all the echidnas, all the emeralds, all the Master Emeralds, stuff
just
like that.
Gets fucking dropped like a hot tamale.
I know. I understand why. I understand why they did that.
Because they just want to include him more. They don't want to bother writing in the Master Emerald.
They ran out of ways to use the Master Emerald in a sense. In a more traditional...
It's a fucking power source.
No.
You could literally throw it into any story and it'd make sense.
Because same thing could be said about the Chaos Emeralds. People are getting tired of the Chaos Emeralds. That's why like the past few...
they haven't used them.
Colors, Lost World, and the new Sonic Boom coming out don't have Chaos Emeralds.
Which is, in a sense, really sad because a lot of their best stories had the fucking Chaos Emeralds. Even if they got tired of, like, Shadow the Hedgehog was one of the more concrete stories. SA1 and SA2 were one of their more concrete stories. And they had the Chaos Emeralds. They were just driving plots.
That's the thing, though, because SA1, SA2, came, like, story-wise, came after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, they had one game,
Chaos
2
Emeralds.
games, 3 games.
Well, if anything, Chaos 3 and Knuckles was,
Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
Sonic 3 and Knuckles, sorry, was the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emerald story, right?
Yeah, and in a sense, Super Emeralds, that was dropped.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid,
I can understand
though.
that.
That was stupid. Plus, their form was stupid.
Yeah. It was basically... the sprite was a Master Emerald, different colored.
Yeah.
I can understand why they dropped the Super Emerald, because that's a bit too much.
Yeah. Plus, it makes it a bitch to obtain. You have to obtain the Chaos Emeralds. Next, you have to do another set of minigames to obtain the Super Emeralds.
It's just basically another Chaos Emerald collecting thing in, like, the DLC and Knuckles portion.
Which was stupid.
Give you Hypersonic, which they don't use anymore. For reasons.
Because you give people seizures.
I can see that being a reason. Like, legitimate reason. Because imagine... excuse me.
Oh, you know what pisses me off sometimes, though?
What?
Is Sega's, like, they could make the story better for some games, specifically Heroes, if they didn't stick everything to their gimmick sometimes. Like, in some games it works. Like, in Colors, it worked.
The colors, the gimmick intertwined with the story.
Yeah,
like, really well.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
But with Heroes, it's just like the final boss battle did not call for their gimmick.
Yeah,
it just didn't.
It didn't call for the way they used the gimmick.
No,
they could have easily done like how they Super Sonic, Hyper Knuckles, or Super Tails. That would have been perfect. A beautiful callback back to the original game, since that game was supposed to, call back to the classic games. But no, they decided, Super Orbs.
I still think since they wanted to drop it all together, they should have done something with just kind of like a throwback to SA2 with Sonic and Shadow. Because I know the whole thing was a team thing, but they could have just had a team fight with just 2 people. They didn't need all 3. Because that would have been
weird, though.
But the whole thing is that this was the last story anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do whatever they want, really, if you think about it.
They can and they can't.
They didn't have to keep the 3-person thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because that was stupid. That was just stupid in that boss battle. There was no need for it.
There's no reason to use Tails and Knuckles, is the thing.
Yeah,
you can
so
use
if
them,
anything...
but Sonic's just so much easier to use by himself.
Yeah, so if anything, they should have just pulled in Shadow, who they conveniently had there the whole time, who has a super form that they're not dropping.
Oh.
And they could have thrown him into the boss battle. But no, instead he's part of the weakening
But
process.
then what would he do, gameplay-wise?
They could have just either...
You just choose same two speed characters. Speed and speed.
Well, in the game, in the main gameplay, there's speed and speed. But if you go back to their normal assets, Sonic is faster than Shadow.
Speed and power?
And Shadow is stronger than Sonic. Yeah, you don't need flying. They're both flying!
But even then, to do such a weird switch in a form of gameplay,
or
which
they
you've been
could've...
playing for like the whole game? Like 4 different teams?
But in the final boss battle, you didn't really need the switch. You just switched out of convenience,
You didn't need a switch, no.
You just switch out of convenience.
The two other characters are somewhat pointless.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted the switch, it's just for the fact that, if you switch, it's a little bit less convenient.
Oh. But they still wanted to stick with their gimmick, because if you
But it just wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary at all.
I mean, what they could have done is that, like, they could have...
If they wanted to use it at all, they should have done, have, at least, don't give them super orbs, give them super forms.
But then that would give too many super form creatures. The whole point is that it's a special thing. In fact, there's only 4 people in this universe who can do it. And 2 of them are from the future or a different dimension.
Sonic? No, you're talking about super forms?
Yeah.
Sonic, Shadow, Silver, Blaze.
Yeah. And Blaze is currently in a different dimension, and Silver's from the future.
Yeah.
So only 2 people can currently use it.
No, that doesn't count. I was gonna say, Mecha Sonic can technically go super.
Technically, a lot of people can go super, but they can't go super the way they can.
You know what I'm talking about with Mecha Sonic, though?
The one that absorbed the Master Emerald, and he absorbed it.
And then
it was unstable, and it was...
Yeah.
He'd lose it after a short
while. He technically went super.
Yeah, kind of like how the guy from the terrible Sonic game technically went super. Because him and Sonic both used the Chaos Emeralds at the same time. I don't understand how that worked. But then he died in one combo anyway.
I know.
So it's just like, I will use my ultimate attack! Like Frieza's giant death ball from Dragon Ball Z.
It's like the most depressing Super Sonic fight ever.
Yeah.
Because every attack is like 99999. Like, I'm doing a quick time event. It's not even like a proper final fight RPG fight.
No, it's just one.
Like in Final Fantasy, we're gonna fight this big old guy. It's just us,
and it's gonna take us 100 turns to do this.
I know.
Here's one turn.
Here's just go up.
You survive one attack, no problem. Easiest thing ever. It's like giant Frieza death ball, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's some giant death ball. Yeah,
it's like something straight out of Dragon Ball Z. I'm going to destroy the world, and Sonic's like, nope. And then one combo later, and you're dead.
That game is so stupid.
But yeah, I mean, only 4 people can do it. So if they gave Knuckles and Tails, I love how we just keep jumping between the games like it's no issue.
I know.
If they gave Knuckles and Tails one again, because they already dropped it, that once again there'd be too many people.
I understand. Yeah, I know. But then again, they can just drop it.
But they can't just drop it again. They've already dropped it once. You can't just bring it back and throw it around like a hot cake.
Sure.
One moment, this is the best thing ever. Next moment, this is a piece of shit. Why did we even do this? They can't do that. It just doesn't work.
I don't. It's that's my only way I feel like you get away with that, because it was still.
If they wanted to fuck up the rest of the Sonic universe, go ahead. But in my opinion, I still think they could have done something with Sonic and Shadow. Shadow, if they wanted to, they could have made it they could have kept the Team Blast. They could have let it charge, but they could have had each character switch off like they did in SA2 and in 06, no matter how much people hated 06.
Yeah.
They still had a decent switch off where they'd switch off and each character would have a different attack pattern.
Yeah.
Shadow was more of a ranged person, while Sonic would charge head first. So if you wanted more speed, you could play Sonic. If you wanted to play defensively, you played Shadow.
But then the boss layout would have to be different.
No, not really.
In my eye...
not really, because here's the thing. If the boss was throwing too much shit to speed through, they could have had sequences, the sequences would, the boss would throw stuff at you, right? Well, if he was throwing the missiles at you, you could play Shadow, and Shadow would start shooting down the missiles. If he was throwing the buildings at you or the things, you switch to Sonic and he boosts the hell out of the way. I mean, it would have overall been the same fight. And they could have done it with 2 people instead of 3.
Yeah.
And the Team Blast, Sonic and Shadow would have just both rushed in and beat the holy shit living fuck out of them.
But the thing about the boss battle is you have to do the controls. The whole layout of the boss battle is Metal Sonic's there, slowly moving forward, and then
backwards.
Backwards. Whatever. He's slowly
He's
moving.
running from you.
He's going in a direction, and you have to go towards him. The gameplay would have to be more along the lines of how Unleashed would work, because if he's still moving, the motion would have to be a lot faster, and you have to have like set barriers. Like, you can't go so far this left, can't go so far right.
You already had barriers, though.
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
Supersonic fight. You always have barriers.
No. The way the fight was level, if you play it again, if you, like...
I never played it, remember? I watched you play it.
If you watch me play it again... basically, it's a map, and the map is moving with Metal Sonic. And you're just running around the map. And he's throwing things at you. How I'm envisioning it, to make it, like, at least a better boss, I don't know. It's just something along the lines of how Unleashed boss battles work. Or, the forward, like, always keep running, one of those. Just have Metal Sonic going, and then we can have Sonic, we can switch to Shadow, and then he can still do, like, all the attacks, the same attacks, throwing ships at you, like Chaos Control, Beans Device, whatever. But, if not automatically running, you have to be automatically running. Actually, you couldn't do that, it'd be weird. You would have to... You have to keep motion going. If you fall too far behind, then you run the risk of dying.
Are you thinking of, like, Generation style of the boss fight?
I'm thinking of that.
Because that's what it sounds like.
I'm thinking of that, because I really like that boss fight, so I'm kind of harking you back to that. I like the forward motion, the constant running Sonic boss
Except
fights.
I really hated the fact in that boss fight. There's two things I hated.
In Metal Sonic?
No, not that one. The one that you said you like so much.
Oh, time meter?
Generations, time meters.
Oh, no, not that.
Not that.
Fucking not that.
What do you think?
I'm talking about think of rival fights.
The rival fights.
Those
are fun.
Think of the boss fight, the Egg Dragoon.
The Egg Dragon?
In Generations.
That was a good one.
Something along lines like that.
That would actually make a lot more sense.
That would be better, because you're always constantly moving. You have a set track, which you can probably see. If not, put like wind lines on the side, so you can see like what the barriers are, and see like you're constantly moving. And then still have all like the different attacks: throwing ship, ice beam, chaos control, laser beam. I don't know. And then have, like you said, switch to Shadow. Have the ships like form a barrier by some kind of like kinetic control or something, and you have to switch to Shadow, like bust through it.
Yeah.
Shadow still does more attack, but you can go back to the fact that you remember the Metal, was it Madness, where if he's a certain color, you can't use that attack.
Oh yeah.
Do something like that.
It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But for some reason they didn't do that. Instead they stuck to the gimmick.
Yeah.
And that killed that game.
That's the thing. That's the thing with the gimmicks, though. If you
pick a gimmick, you have to make sure it works, or you have to drop it off at some point.
Yeah. Or at least
like,
make the gimmick not like the main focus of the game.
Yeah.
Like colors. The gimmick of the game was the wisps.
And they weren't really the main focus because you could have ended most levels without them.
Yeah.
They're just really nice to have.
Yeah. But they still intertwine the story. They explain like how they are, why they are, what they do, what's happening to them, why they're like dangerous or helpful or whatever. And it helped move the story along. The gimmick intertwined with the story. So everything was nice and, fancy.
Well, with the other one, it's just like, hey, we're 3 people. Yay! Let's go that way.
Mm.
And apparently they all started on the same beach, went through the same city that no longer exists.
That's the thing I don't like about colors. Not colors.
Heroes.
Heroes is level layout. It's weird.
It is weird.
Because
they go
certain characters start in certain areas. Sonic starts in a desert. You technically should start in, like, Rail Canyon or something like that.
But nope.
Amy
Straight to the beach.
Amy starts at the beach. She'll start at the beach.
That one makes the most sense.
Shadow starts in
Eggman's lab.
Which technically you could transition to the city.
Yes.
Eggman owns that city.
Yes.
But they just made it so like a linear, do this level, do this level, do this level, do this level. And then it's really weird because you go through all the levels. They're different in their own way, but not...
It's still basically the same
It's basically the same, but they're not different enough.
Yeah. The only main difference is in the normal one. Oh, it's just like the way they originally intended it to be. The hard one, let's throw in more enemies.
That's the thing I don't like about colors. I want to say colors. Heroes. I shouldn't say colors.
Colors
skip around too much and get confused.
Colors was the good game.
I know, Colors is a good game. What's the thing? Fuck, what's the thing? Oh, difficulty. You play through the game in all the difficulties. That's the thing. That's a silly thing.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. You play the weird. It's even weirder how they structure the teams.
Normal, hard, crazy, easy.
No.
Because it's
Sonic normal.
Sonic normal. He's
Sonic,
the first
Shadow,
one. Shadow.
Amy, Chaotix.
Oh yeah, Chaotix was last.
So you basically play normal, hard, easy, then
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's really no mindset to that one.
And it don't even set up in like a good way. Because
if anything, crazy was in the right place, but it should have been like easy, normal, hard.
Yeah.
And then like mission.
But then that would be kind of weird because
then Amy would have been first.
Yeah, and you can see if you play the games, you can easily see like the difficulty. It's like playing Metal Gear Rising or something. Like I want to play hard mode. Let's go straight to hard mode. But then you still have to beat easy, normal, and crazy. It's like I don't want to play easy. It's too easy. Normal's I've beaten the hard, so normal's not that much of a challenge. Crazy, I can't even deal with that.
It's like for some reason they intended the game to be played by 4 different people.
I know, it's weird.
Because normally people who would only play Shadow's Sonic's mode is because they really like Sonic as a person.
Yeah.
Normally people who play Sonic games would just jump straight to Shadow because he's the hardest version of the game.
Yeah.
And they want a challenge, and there wasn't really much of a challenge anyway.
It doesn't help the difficulty, setup.
It's just throw more enemies in.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
And easy is like way too easy.
Easy's like piss easy.
Easy's stupid easy because the team blast
makes you invincible.
Makes you invincible, gives you a shield, and levels up everyone.
Yeah.
So do it 3 times, you win the level.
And it's super
if you could
easy.
even charge up that much.
You usually only get it once before you win.
I know, it's way too fast. It doesn't help the easy, the difficulty, setup. When you play Team Rose, you're forced to play through the tutorial.
Oh yeah, that's retarded.
Tutorial otherwise is only in the options if you want to see how to play the game. You have to play the tutorial in Team Rose's story when you first play it.
That's one of the reasons people hate Oma Chow.
It's like...
Sorry, people. But yeah, one of the reasons people hate Oma Chow.
I don't know. Debuted in... people hate Oma Chow. But in a way, I like Oma Chow.
I like the fact I can shoot him in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oma Chow is annoying, but it's still important in a way. Would you rather have Oma Chow? Or would you rather have Sonic friends talking to themselves? That's why I like Oma Chow.
Truthfully, most of the time they could get away with just Tails explaining it to Sonic. Or Omega explaining it to Shadow.
No, but even then, I like Oma Chow because he does serve a purpose more than just tutorial. He gives the player directions without having the character say, "Hey, if I jump down here, I'll die." I mean, if
they could be just talking to themselves, be like, I don't think I'm jumping down there.
No, but hearing the characters say the specific direction, press A to jump. It's
oh yeah, that's
stuff
stupid.
like that. It's really weird, and it kind of makes the character seem kind of.
But in a way, they need to make it so. I kind of wish they made it seem like Oma Chow wasn't acknowledged by the characters, but that Oma Chow personally flies up into their face. So it just kind of breaks the illusion a little. If Oma Chow, I think it was Generations where Oma Chow just kind of flew in the corner. That was fine.
Yeah.
Because then it keeps the illusion, but in certain games he flies right next to the character.
You mean, like an SC2 where he circles it?
Yeah.
I don't mind that actually.
No, that's stupid. It just breaks the illusion because it's acknowledging that he's a thing.
Yeah. That's one thing I kind of like about it though, because it's a tutorial thing. I know you're talking about Generations. He flies in the corner hey, you do this, you can do this.
Yeah, and it's oh, he's talking to the player. Sonic must not see him.
Yeah.
But in the other one, he's flying around his head. It's what the fuck is this little robot doing?
I like that because it's acknowledged in the game that you're giving tutorials, but not in a weird way.
The little robot's flying around the character's head, and the character hasn't swatted it yet. That is weird.
It's kind of funny in a way. Because if you have the best tutorial, hey, go up to the screen, hey, if you jump, you can kill this guy. Having the Oma Chow circle around the character and explain to the character what to do, I don't know why. It's kind of funny to me. Just giving the actual character, who probably knows everything, directions.
I think that's a little weird.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I just like Oma Chow because he serves a purpose. Everyone finds him annoying. I don't mind him that much.
Spoken like a true Sonic fanboy.
I can deal with that. Have you not seen my room, sir?
They can't see it.
Insert Sonic room here.
It's a Sonic room here. Oh my god. And the random Egyptian section.
That's my mother's.
He lives in the basement.
Don't tell me what to do.
No.